Hi friends. So I bought this dress on Amazon probably a year, maybe 2 years ago. I've worn it to three, I think, different Renaissance fairs, but I decided that it needs a revamp. I mean, it's just a little bit plain. And I want to add some different things to it and experiment to see how creative I can be. Because I feel like when you go to a Renaissance fair, everybody is so magical and creative and artsy, and I want to be like that too. Let me show you the plan. My daughter has been obsessed with going to Renaissance fairs, and so for her birthday this year, that is the plan. Her birthday is May 1st, and we're planning to go to the Tennessee Renaissance Fair on May the 2nd. And I'm really excited about it, but I wanted to do these three things. Create a skirt, create a bodice, and create a revamped style of some boots, because I've seen so many people paint shoes and I just love the way it looks, and I've never tried it, and I just love experimenting and doing new things, even though it's really hard and I make a ton of mistakes, and then that makes me never want to do it again. So I first decided just to draw out my envision with all three of these things. And then I decided to use watercolor, even though I'm not going to watercolor these, but I wanted to add the colors so that I could, visualize it even more detail, what I'm looking for when I go buy my supplies and when I'm trying to actually implement these things. I want to go to a thrift store to find the fabric for this skirt, and I want to find things that are like linen, chiffon, like light and airy and thin, not cotton or polyester. Then for this bodice, I have some linen fabric already, and I'm going to plan to paint on that with a fabric paint. And I'm not sure about how I'm going to do the backing, but I think I'm going to have some kind of backing that's going to be stiffer to hold it together. I was thinking about getting a piece of like felt that is the firm type of felt. And then I just want to add some little vines with some big flowers in those like light pink colors and the like maroon kind of color, and the different like off-white tones and stuff like that. I just didn't know how to do those off tones on this, but I just did a few little blobs to kind of show what that would look like. And then my boots are actually black and they're suede, and they have these little dangly things at the top of them. I don't know if I'm going to keep them or cut them so that you can actually see more of the painting. I also wanted to add little mushrooms to the bottom of that as well. And then I outlined everything to make it stand out. So let's go shopping. At the thrift store that I went to, I was surprised to find a lot of drapes that actually fit with what I was going for, and a few shirts. Here's the curtain with the tassels I wasn't sure if I'd use. And then I got this pink bed sheet that was super soft. And so I'm laying them all out just to see how they would fit together and what order I wanted them to be in. I wanted to get to cutting right away, but instead I laid out all of the pieces with the dress to see what is the length and where did I need to start cutting the pieces and how long they would be in comparison with the dress. I was digging through a closet and randomly found this elastic, and I thought, yeah, this will be perfect. So I wrapped it around me, and it was just my size. So I decided to pin it together with a binder clip and maybe eventually sew it, but I didn't yet. Then after cutting all of the pieces to the length that was the longest that the shirts could possibly be, I started wrapping them around the elastic. I was really liking the way it came together. And so, of course, I had to do a little try on to see if it would fit. And it was a little bit big. I could have tightened it up a little bit more, But overall, I think it's really cute. Maybe not with this outfit like this way, but maybe once I get it all styled together, yeah, it is going to look great. I laid the belt down to see what the sizing is of the little bodice part that I wanted to create. And then it's not like I can really see where all that is when I'm cutting this out, but I cut out the shape that I wanted. I don't know that it was actually the right sizing that I needed. And it looked decent right there, right? And then I added a backing because it needed to be a little bit thicker and got to started on my painting. And I decided to go with what I had designed and do some different little flowers and stuff. Of course, I didn't know what all the details were going to end up looking like. And I just do a bunch of different types of flowers, just however I feel like doing them, and just trying to, do different ones. Then I decided to finish up by adding a few little details and different colored strokes in the leaves. And next up are my shoes, which apparently I forgot to press start when filming, like usual. And I already painted like the majority of the shoe by the time I realized that I was not recording any of it. So I added some of these other different little flowers and things, trying to keep with the same style that I put on the bodice. So I really like the way these turned out. I used acrylic paint instead of my fabric paint by accident, but I'm hoping that they will hold up well regardless of the use. So then I added a few more little details, and I wanted it to kind of be like a little vine around the edges. And then I went in and added some mushrooms to the side. So let's see how all this is put together. I added the belt and then the skirt, and it ripped off because I'm only holding it by a binder clip and giving it a little spin, trying to figure out how to add the bodice. And I added this lace to it, but it turned out to look absolutely horrid. Look at this. This looks ridiculous. I don't know what I was doing, but it turned out terrible. I ended up ripping off that lace and then just attaching it with some safety pins, and that looked a little bit better. And then I show off my shoes here. I like the way they turned out. But then when I was putting the shoe on, I accidentally had my skirt in the shoe, and I had just painted my nails. So you're gonna see, like right there, do you see this little, look what I did. I ruined the dress. So now this is at the Renaissance Faire itself, and it was absolutely fantastic. There's all these people, all these booths, everyone's so dressed up, and we just had a lot of fun. This was a grilled cheese sandwich with cornbread, and it was absolutely delicious. Here is some of the people who performed for us, and I'll let you watch a little bit of these clips.
I had to bring this up again. I did say I was going to pass the hat, but my friends, for the one of you that voted for the apple, you're off the hook. Yeah, thanks, buddy. I don't need your money. Keep it. The rest of you, I think you owe me $10. All right, here we go.
This is the area or the arena where they have the jousting, and before they did the jousting, there was a performer on this like big chessboard, and they did several performances over there. But this guy I think he's a YouTuber because my daughter recognized him, but he does songs with a whip. So I'll let you see a little bit of that.
Your boy band knowledge sings. Why would you think that I look like Justin Timberlake? Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody!
And I didn't get a total view of my full outfit that day, but these were my shoes. I saw everyone with these loaded chips, and I thought they looked amazing, but they actually did not taste very good, and they didn't give us enough cheese.
You take a bite. I like yours, bro.
What a fun day we had at the Tennessee Renaissance Festival. If you have never been, you really should go. It is such a vibe. I hope you subscribe, comment, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.